laughter rolling like the ocean wide. Good morning, Marianas, here we go. Brad's the guy who runs the show. Laughter rolling like the ocean wide. Good morning, Marianas, we're alive. Oh yeah. Good morning, Marianas, we're alive.
A new lawsuit over ICE operations. Lisa Brady, Fox News. Illinois' Democratic Governor J.B. Pritzker accusing Homeland Security of a dangerous use of force with agents lawlessly interrogating and arresting residents. The Trump administration repeating its defense of ICE earlier today, insisting agents are operating lawfully, including in Minneapolis, where Renee Good was shot and killed last week.
This individual was stalking and harassing our law enforcement officers for hours that day. She was impeding lawful operations.
DHS Assistant Secretary Tricia McLaughlin says an agent fired at Good in self-defense. City and state officials say Good was trying to drive away. This as a clock is ticking on Capitol Hill.
Congress has until January 30th to avoid a lapse in spending that would trigger yet another government shutdown. And now there are a handful of Democrats here on the Hill who are flirting with the idea of using the threat of that shutdown as leverage to cut ICE funding. And Connecticut Democratic Senator Chris Murphy is also putting forward a bill that would put strict limits on ICE arrests. We're talking banning agents from wearing masks and also keep Border Patrol at the border. And he is now warning Republicans a partial government shutdown could be on the horizon.
Fox's Bill Malugin. A U.S. senator is suing the Pentagon, stemming from efforts to punish the lawmaker, a Navy veteran, for his role in a video.
Senator Mark Kelly says Secretary Hegseth is coming after what he earned through his 25 years of military service, which he says is a violation of his rights. The Arizona Democrat filing a lawsuit as the Secretary of War has tried to reduce Kelly's rank and military pension after the senator was involved in a video encouraging service members not to follow what they believe are unlawful orders. Republicans in Congress have argued the move puts military operations at risk.
Fox's Ryan Schmelz. A strong finish on Wall Street. The Dow up 86 points at the bell. America's listening to Fox News.
This is Ainsley Earhart. Thank you for joining me for the 52-episode podcast series, The Life of Jesus.
A listening experience that will provide hope, comfort, and understanding of the greatest story ever told. Listen and follow now at foxnewspodcasts.com or wherever you listen to podcasts.
President Trump calling for a cap on credit card interest rates.
The move is President Trump's next step in tackling affordability, saying credit card companies are taking advantage of people.
I have no idea that they're paying 30%. No way. We're putting a one-year cap at 10%, and that's it. They know it. They've really abused the public. The credit card companies have totally abused it. I'm not going to let it happen.
This proposed 10% cap will save Americans about $100 billion a year in interest costs, according to one Vanderbilt University study.
Fox Business's Kelly Saberi. The president has not said whether the goal is executive action or legislation. Banks argue in part that high fees are necessary because there's no house or car to repossess with credit cards. Americans have record debt, owing more than $1.2 trillion and paying average interest of about 20%. Billionaire Mackenzie Scott ending 2025 with a $45 million gift to the Trevor Project, announced today. The nonprofit runs a hotline for LGBTQ plus youth and lost federal funding last year when specific support for gay, trans, and nonconforming young people was cut from the National Suicide and Crisis Hotline. The latest change at the Smithsonian happens in its National Portrait Gallery, where a large photo of the president from his first term was on display in the America's Presidents exhibition.
The summary next to it touched on, among other things, the development of COVID-19 vaccines, while also mentioning that he was impeached twice, although acquitted by the Senate in both trials. Now a different photo of the president hangs in its place, and it appears museum officials have grabbed an eraser to the accompanying text block, which is now much shorter and no longer includes references to the impeachments.
Fox's CJ Papa. The president ordered a review of Smithsonian exhibits ahead of the nation's 250th birthday this year. Recapping stocks, a record close for the Dow and the S&P, and the NASDAQ also finishing in the green. I'm Lisa Brady, Fox News.
If you see something, say something. and stay anonymous. Call Crime Stoppers at 234-7272 or submit a tip online at nmicrimestoppers.com. No names, no caller ID, no recordings, just your info. And if your tip leads to an arrest, you could earn up to $1,000 in cash. Your tips have helped take hundreds of criminals off the streets in the NMI. It works because of you. Crime Stoppers, we want your information, not your name. PHI is your local pharmacy serving customers in Cagman, Garapan, and Dandan since 1996. Shop PHI Pharmacy for all your prescriptions, and we even offer a large line of multivitamin supplements. Our Dandan location is open weekdays from 8 to 6 and 8 to 4 on weekends. Or visit our Garapan and Cagman locations weekdays from 8 to 6 and 8 to 1 on Saturdays. Check us out online at phipharmacy.com or follow us on Facebook. PHI is a locally owned independent community Health Mart pharmacy. Health Mart, taking the time to listen and care.
As the day unfolds with laughter and cheer, Brad's got the magic that brings us all near. Sharing tales of hope, dreams that shine bright. Good morning, Marianas, together we ignite. So join the palm trees, we dance through the days. Rhythm and soul, so many ways. Together we rise. Through the moments we share. Good morning, Marianas. Feel the love everywhere. Wake up to the sunshine in the morning light. Good vibes all around. Everything feels right. Brad on the show, bringing joy to our day. Into the Marianas breeze. Let the worries drift away. Yeah, that was the air. Connection grows stronger. We show that we care. Rocks on, feel the soulful flow. Look right on in Mariana, that's where you belong. The sweet island breeze and the ocean's embrace. Brad's got the stories, sunlight behave. Southside meditated, fall in this ride. Yeah, we're shining with love as our guide. So raise your voices high, let the music play on. Good morning, Marianas, we're where you belong.
Nina's Kitchen, so delicious. I need a burger and a soda with it. It tastes so great, got me so addicted. Let's hop in the car, gotta go and get it. Nina's Kitchen, so delicious. I need a burger and a soda with it. It tastes so great, got me so addicted. Let's hop in the car, gotta go and get it.
Good morning, Marianas. Holy cow, 7:51 in the morning. It is Tuesday, Taco Tuesday in the Marianas. That's probably one of the best days in the Marianas, save for Fridays. Friday is a big day that we definitely love out here. And but great to see you guys today. Great to see you guys last night. Great to see you yesterday morning. You know, pretty much all those other times too. But like, it was good to have that conversation last night and to have that show yesterday. Great to get out there and get at it. And now we got to get out there and get out on those roads because traffic outside right now is definitely. There's a lot of school buses out there, and somebody lost their dog. We're going to talk about that in a little bit. There's a real nice puppy out there who's looking for his home, but we'll get there in a second. Let's take a look at traffic, though. Let's get started over here. We'll start over there in Garapan. That's right. You can see there's a bunch of traffic over there by the intersection, by the pickleball court. Yeah. What do you think about that, tennis players? Pickleball court. Over there by the hospital, it's pickleball and tennis. I know. A little bit of traffic over there, and all along Middle Road is a slow go through Garapan. That's just what you're going to get. It gets a little bit better when you get down past the museum, but everything before that is going to be a bit of an unhappy drive, unless you got a real nice car from AK Toyota. Wow. You got to like it. Anyway, not too bad over there by Quartermaster Road. The intersection that matters is the place where connections matter. IT&E, there's some traffic over there, but that's just your standard. That's nothing exceptionally slow and go. But there is a little bit of traffic over there by Mount Carmel School. You're trying to get your kids over there, or you're trying to get yourself over there. It's just going to be a little bit slow northbound on Beach Road in Talkeetna. by that light. Also, a lot of traffic in both directions over there in Chalon by the post office. Right there where it pops out across over there by Great Harvest. Definitely a lot of traffic by the Chalon-Piau intersection as well. Everybody coming from the south side, when you get up to that light by Mobile in Chalon-Piau, it's just slow. Do not expect to get through Chalon-Canoa easily. It is going to be a slow go today. Over there on Monsignor Martinez, that's right, through Aslito and all that, not too bad. A little bit of traffic over there by Shell Dandan, but I've seen worse, for sure. It's not that bad. I've seen it really worse, actually. But right now, it's pretty sweet. Over there by NMC, a little bit of traffic, too. San Vicente looking pretty good as we look around the back island road, and everything seems to be mighty smooth. A little bit of traffic out there in front of Ina's Kitchen. It's not anything to worry about. You're coming down Capitol Hill. Don't even think about taking another way. Over there by AK, it looks pretty cool too. And a little bit of stop and go in front of the Marianas Heights building. And that brings us all the way back to where we started by the pickleball and tennis courts over there in Garapan. Looking mighty good. Not as good as you're going to look, though, in your new Toyota from Atkins Kroll. That's right. If you've got a new Corolla or a new Tacoma, you are going to be the king of the world. Or, hey, maybe the queen. Just depends on who you are. Maybe you're more queen-like. Maybe you're more king-like. Well, either way, you're going to feel really cool when you get over there. They've got free years of insurance and down payment assistance over there, and that would be a great way for you to get yourself started in the new year with a new car that you don't have to worry about. You got to love it. Go ahead and get down there and give him a call. By the way, Mark Sablon is back in town. You should give him a call. Go see him now that you can see him again. I mean, that's great that he's back in Saipan. So, rah, rah, rah. Welcome back, Mark Sablon, and good morning to the whole crew over there at AK. Good morning to you, Marianas. It's great to see all you guys out here. And, man, it's a busy one. Let's get in to say hey to you guys this morning. Let's get started first. Hey, Eric Mopnas, great to see you this morning. My veteran brother in the house. Hopefully we'll get some great answer. Yeah, I'm glad you like the music. Thanks, it's a lot of fun. Luisa Cabrera, well, hello to you too. Great to see you. Again, as always, Bruce Camacho, good morning. He said, Brad, is it going to be a rematch of the Pats and Bills for the conference? Calling it meow. We're going to find out. We're going to find out today how that goes. I am sure that the game between the Pats and the, oh my gosh, excuse me. My gosh, where'd that yawn come from? Out of nowhere. I don't know. I know the Bills got to get through the Broncos in Denver. And I don't know, man. I am not excited about their chances over there. But I wasn't excited about them going to Duval either. But the Bills and Broncos, man, I'll tell you what. You think you know people. You think they're nice. You think they're friendly, and then you see their awful, awful mean side. And I'm talking to you, Nadine De Leon Guerrero Quinto. Not really. She's awesome. She is really sweet. I'm not serious about it. But she was so mean. She's like, yeah, Brad, hey, congratulations on your Bills winning, but just want to let you know, enjoy it because next week they're going down. I'm like, oh, my God. Who knew that she was a Broncos fan? Well, now I know. Anyway, going to be fun. Bills going to the home of the Broncos. The Patriots, by winning, made sure that the Bills will not get a home game in the playoffs, so that kind of blows a little bit. But, hey, what are you going to do? Steelers and Texans tonight, this morning for us at 11:15. And looking forward to see how that goes. 11:15, the Steelers, Texans. It's going to be – I expect the Texans have – their defense is fierce. I expect that they should be all over the place. Their offense is, it's streaky. C.J. Stroud's really talented and all that stuff. Does he really have the leadership? I'm not sure, but I know he's got some mad skills. The Steelers, they got a great 90-year-old quarterback who's actually younger than Phillip Rivers, believe it or not. But their whole team, they're kind of just like an average team. With a quarterback who knows how to get some stuff done. I think the Texans could beat the snot out of them, and then it's just a matter of where they go from there. I think C.J. Stroud is. I was talking with my buddy yesterday about this, and I think that the the Texans, with their really great defense and their okay offense, kind of reminds me of like the Buccaneers, but with a less stable quarterback. So even like the Ravens, the first time they won the Super Bowl, when they had Trent Dilfer, I think that's it. I mean, like a defense that good could carry you. We'll find out. I'm excited to see what happens. I'd like for the Steelers to win because I know the Bills can beat the Steelers. I think they got a better chance because they got the snot knocked out of them against the Texans. Chargers and Patriots. You know what? I mean, in case you missed it, yesterday, we can give you that whole rundown real quick. Happy to do it, too. Yep, that's it. The Rams beat the Panthers 34-31. We talked about it yesterday for sure. And the Packers fell to the Bears in Chicago. The Bears beating the Packers for the first time since 1941 in the playoffs. How about that? The Bills over the Jaguars in a close one, 27-24. And the Bang Bang Niner gang, 49ers beat the Eagles 23-19. The Patriots, the only decisive victory, 16-3 over the Chargers. All the other games were within 4 points. Rams over the Panthers, 3-point game. Bears over the Packers, 4-point game. Bills over the Jaguars, 3-point game. 49ers over the Eagles, 4-point game. And then, of course, you got the outlier, the 13-point win. It's not like they blew them out, but 16-3, the Chargers just got beat up pretty good. And that seems to be the case with Justin Herbert. He just likes getting beat up. I don't know. Kind of like what's going on with my chin, Louisa. I'll tell you about that. She's like, I yawn when we talk about the Bills, too. Oh, yeah, that's a tough one. Yeah, we'll get to more of that in just a bit. I'll tell you all about it. It's not a great story, but we'll talk about it. Yeah, so then Sablig Sin 08. Oh man, all the way Palau. I love it. Great to see you. Thanks for being here. Lucia's like, what happened to your chin? Did Kathy did you make Kathy mad? Yeah, I did. And it shouldn't hurt to go home. No, okay. I'll tell you the story. I was like kind of laying in bed. I was sleeping. This is not last night, but the night before. I started going around. I felt that like a little bump there, like the start of like a. Oops, am I saved by the bell? All right, Halfadades NT Road. Thanks for calling the show. Who's this?
Hey, this is Greg Borja.
Greg Borja. Oh, my gosh. By the way, our show just got so much cooler. We got Mr. Marvel DC expert in here with us. We're here. This is our comic book corner. It's a new segment of the show, and we thought we'd call in one of the experts. No, Greg. Greg, you're over there with NM Posse. He is the director over there, but he's also doing all kinds of great things in the community, and one of those things is Rotary. And, you've held so many different positions. What do you do with Rotary these days?
Well, I'm currently the president of this Rotary year at our Rotary Club of Saipan. But for the past 9 years, I've basically been working mostly with our youth services and helping out our students in the high school, middle school area, when it comes to just promoting the qualities of Rotary. And we also work with them on different things like sending them on student exchange trips and then promoting peace worldwide.
Man, that's amazing. You guys do so much good work in the community. It's great every time I see something. But today, you guys got another event that's coming up, and it's pretty cool because I love all the events that Rotary does here in the CNMI. They're all a lot of fun. I have a great time when I get out and do these things. And you got one coming up. It's this weekend.
Yes, it is. On Saturday, January 17th, we have our third annual cycling challenge. It's basically a ride to end polio.
Wow. And is it the first one who crosses the finish line beats polio, or how does that work?
Well, no, we do hand out prizes and awards to different competitors. We do have several categories and several age groups. And so we have categories that include e-bike, mountain bike, and road bike. And then we have a kids division, ages 8 and below, and then 12 to 9 years old. And then we have different adult age categories as well. So I wish that if you finished the line that you would end polio now. But basically what happens is that we use this event to promote healthy activities throughout the CNMI, and then also to raise funds for Rotary International's Polio Plus program. This program's been going on since 1988, and it looks at the worldwide reduction of polio cases. Since 1988, Rotary has helped bring that number down to 99.9%. In 2024, there are a little bit less than 100 active cases of wild polio virus throughout the world. And then in 2025, that number dropped to 39. And there was only active cases in Afghanistan and Pakistan. So the funds that we raise go to help providing vaccination for children in countries that don't typically get a vaccination upon birth.
Wow, and that's such a shame, because I thought, growing up, we heard of polio as one of those old things that happened way before, like when our parents were kids or something, and we thought it was all pretty much done. But then, without constantly going after it, it definitely can have a chance of coming back. We're seeing what's happening with that measles and stuff like that happening if you don't stay on top of it. And you guys, this is one of those constant areas of focus for the Rotary clubs worldwide, right?
That's true. We do one of our areas of focus is preventing disease, and polio. It's highly contagious. It's a viral disease. It evades the nervous system. It can cause paralysis, and so and it's spread from contaminated food and water, and it is preventable by vaccination. So in addition to helping provide the vaccination, Rotary does work worldwide in looking at providing sanitation, hygiene, and clean water in most countries.
Wow. Well, this is just another way of one of our local organizations doing something for a worldwide benefit, and also a local benefit of having some fun while you're out here too. So it's the End Polio Now second annual cycling challenge for the Rotary Club of Saipan. Is it Saturday the 17th?
It is this Saturday, and sorry, the flyer I sent you was a little bit outdated. It's actually our third annual. We started this about 3 years ago, so yeah, we're trying to continue the momentum in terms of getting folks out there. Last year was wonderful because we had a large number of youth that attended the event, so we offer a 2.6 kilometer race for them. And so it was wonderful to see. You got kids out there as young as 6 years old, pedaling their way up the hill and whatnot. And it all starts at Bonsai Cliff, and then we just move out from there, in terms of the race.
Now, am I able to beat those kids in that race? Can I compete against those kids in that 2.6?
Well, you could, but I will probably just have you walk.
Oh, man.
No, I'm kidding. Yeah, one of our winners from last year, I think he was roughly 12 years old. He was on a road bike. Wow, he smoked through that competition last year. So, you had better get some training in before Saturday if you want to try to beat him.
Well, I got a few more days to train to get prepped. But it is this Saturday. It's $15, and that goes toward the Rotary Club of Saipan's push and with the worldwide program to help end polio. It's their third annual. Don't listen to what you see on the screen. It's not the second annual. That's so last year. But this is for this year, this Saturday. Check in. It's basically a 5:30 show, 6:30 go. It's going to be at Bonsai in Saipan. They've got categories for men and women on the e-bike, mountain bike, road bike, and even for the little kiddos. The age groups are from 12 and below. Below 30 is the big open, 30 to 39, 40 to 49, 50 to 59, and 60. If you're 61, forget it. It's probably 60 and up. Also, here's the distances for the kids course, 2.6K, which is going to be a nice one, and it's going to be a nice safe one too up there at the Marpee side. The short course is 20K. The long course is just 10 extra at 30K. Can you walk us through do you know the courses offhand?
Yes, I do. So for the kids course, we start right around the monuments. All the races start around the monuments there at Bonsai Cliff. So for the kids course, they're going to ride up past the Veterans Cemetery to just when they get to the main road across from like Last Command Post, and then there's a turnaround, they head back. And then I think it's a double loop, so they're gonna do that route 2 times, and then that's your 2.6 kilometers. Now, for those that are interested in the short course, you're basically going to exit out of Bonsai road.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to make a right turn and head down towards Tenopeg, and then basically right in front of the former Saipan Select building is the turnaround, and then you head all the way back up to Bonsai. Now, if you're doing the long course, you're going to do that same route down to Tenopeg and then back up, but instead of turning to Bonsai, we're going to have you head all the way up to the top of Suicide Cliff, and then we do have a water station and a turnaround up there, and then you head back down to Bonsai, and that's your 30 kilometers.
That sounds awful. No, I mean, you're going to earn it. You're going to earn it for sure. The question is, how badly do I want it? I love the idea of it. It sounds fantastic. It's going up to Suicide. I mean, it's like, I've done it. The hairpin turn is a tough one on its own. You only have to do it once. Then when you get up there, start getting up to Suicide, you get up to that one part, you're like, oh, I made it. Oh, no, I got to go down again, and then go all the way up to Suicide. And then, all right, it's all downhill. No, you got to climb back out of there for a minute, and then you can zip down all the way. Well, I'll tell you, it's great that you guys are putting together another great event. I know the community is going to love it. And now we've got it on the screen, so people can just zap that QR code to register.
Yes, that QR code is current and active, even though I forgot to change the second to third, but the QR code is current. And so you can go on there. Now, if you're not able to make the registration deadline by this Friday online, we will have on-site registration as well. Just make sure you get there like around the 5:30 a.m. time.
Do you got to pay a little extra if you're paying on race day?
No, not at all. You know, we want to keep it open. And again, because this is going for a good cause, we're not trying to put a strain on our community and whatnot. But again, we figure $15 is going to be a good registration fee. Finishers should be getting a shirt for the event, and then you will also have eligibility for raffle prizes.
Oh, man, that's great. You guys are so nice to be able to keep that same price for folks who register on race day. But that's the deal. You can get out there and have some fun. Even if you're not going to do it, maybe it's your kids, maybe it's your grandkids. You want to get them out and take them out. That'd be a great bonding thing for the family to get out there and do that. So you got plenty of time. Today is Tuesday. You could take your bike downstairs here to Romy's Bike Shop, Saipan Bike Pro, over here in the CETA building. Get your bike all tuned up and cleaned up, clean off the cobwebs and all that stuff, and get ready to roll up there. Man, this is great. You've got a lot of volunteers to do all this stuff, don't you?
So we do. Aside from our club members, we do work with the youth groups. So we have what are called interact clubs in the different high schools and in some of the middle schools and private schools. So those youth are going to be there to help direct riders where they're going. They're going to be handing out water, and then they'll be assisting in the registration and the awarding ceremonies.
Well, you also, there's another group out there, the Rotaract. Those guys are like younger adults, like the Manhoban kind of group.
That is, yes. And they will be with us as well. They're like our Rotaract is people that are 18 to 30, and then they basically are doing everything Rotary does, but they're more of our college level students. Sorry, not kids.
Yeah, no,
I think of them as kids sometimes just because I'm getting older, but no, they're wonderful. They're always out there and very supportive of the events that Rotary does, and so we are always there to support them in their activities as well.
Well, outstanding. So it is the Rotary Club of Saipan and Polio Now's third annual cycling challenge happening this Saturday. You guys can get out there, have some fun. It's only $15, and you're going to get some smiles. You're going to pack on some miles, and it's a great community event. For people who think there aren't great things going on right now, you're missing out. There's tons of things happening in Saipan. So, well, Greg, anything else that we could plug? Some other things that you guys have coming up this year for Rotary?
Well, on May 9th, I know it's a little bit ahead of time, but we are going back to Las Vegas night. We're going to have our annual fundraiser once again.
That's awesome.
We're looking at being at the Crown Plaza Resort and Spa, but this is, something that Rotary has been doing for probably the past 30 years, but with COVID and then a couple of other issues, we haven't been able to hold our event lately. But so May 9th, it's just the day before Mother's Day, and so what a great time to bring Mom out, and donate a little money towards Rotary.
Yeah, and it's a lot of fun. Some of the things, like, it's like the difference between watching a movie at the theater or watching it at home. It's that communal aspect of, like, being around everybody when that excitement's happening and people are having fun. This is going to be another great event to come out. At May 9th, it's great. You gave us a heads up so we can start saving some money so we can go out there and have some fun out there for Vegas night. It's great. And, hey, I know it might be too early for it now, but you guys are usually out there looking for, like, volunteer dealers and stuff like that for that, aren't you?
Yes, we are.
All right.
And so as we put our committee together for the event, we will reach out. It's always nice to have, celebrities from the community dealing some blackjack, and just talking and entertaining the folks that are in there. I'm going to put you down as a maybe there, Brad, as one of our dealers.
You could put me down as a definite. I will definitely do it. 100%.
Wonderful.
Yeah, I am locked in for it. Kathy, there's nothing else that we're doing. That's our night. That's our cheap date for, we're going to have some fun. We'll get in. We'll have some fun. Hey, does that mean I have to be a dealer all night, or can I get a break and go and play some of those games?
Oh, of course, you can take a break. You're a volunteer, and so we're not working anybody to the bone. And again, it's meant to be a good time. Me myself, I've sat at a table I think a few years back, and I didn't get up like the whole 6 hours.
Wow.
But I was having fun, just talking with everybody. Luckily, my liquid intake was low, so I didn't have to get up so often.
Nice.
But it's always a good and fun time, and it helps fund all of the projects that we do in our Rotary Club, like building playgrounds, sending students on exchange trips, and just promoting we call it maternal child health and preventing disease. It's all what Rotary's about.
Well, that skate park, isn't that Rotary also?
Yes, the skate park is from Rotary, the one right there next to the Garapan Central Park.
Yeah.
We built that, I think, way back in the early 90s. And then our most recent playground is in Lowry 4. And so please take your family down there. It's a wonderful spot. It's right on the beach next to the pavilions. And so it's a great area.
Awesome. I think I was here when you guys built the skate park. I gotta say, it's gotta be 2000s. I remember it being like a pretty exciting thing, unless I missed something beforehand. I thought you guys did it. But anyway, whatever it was, like, I just know that skate park is really cool and that people still use it, and it's pretty awesome. It's great that we have something like that here.
Yes, and I was out there not too long ago, and I saw a bunch of kids out there boarding, and so I'm glad they're utilizing it. And again, they're getting out of the house, away from the TV and the devices. That's what these playgrounds and stuff is all about, just getting you out in the world.
Yeah. Well, awesome. Well, hey, any shout outs to anybody, Greg?
Just shout out to the Posse crew. I know they do such a great job. Shout out to Rotary. And I guess I should send a little shout out to my wife. She's been so tolerant of me lately. So, hey, babe.
I love it. All right. By the way, we have a mutual friend who was in the hospital recently, and it was great to see. Your daughter was over there at the hospital, taking care of not just him, but everybody who is over in that part of the hospital. But you talk about family and stuff like that. It was great to see your daughter just doing great stuff in our community too.
Oh, yes. I'm very proud of her. I'm glad of her accomplishments, and I think she's enjoying her job a whole lot right now.
Awesome. Well, that's the way to do it. Me too. I know you are. You're enjoying your job as well. Well, thanks, Greg. Thanks for coming on and telling us about this. It's the third annual, not second. Don't worry about the poster. Third annual on Polio Now Cycling Challenge from Rotary Club of Saipan. It's happening this Saturday. All the info's there. We're going to post it. We'll post it on the social media pages, and then all the website and everything too. And we'll do that in just a little bit. But we'll probably do something with the second to third kind of thing too.
Yes, and I'll make sure that I can send you an updated flyer on that one.
All right.
But thank you, Brad, for the opportunity to talk about our event and to share that with the community.
You got it. All right, take care. Have a great day.
All right, you too. Talk later.
All right, take care. All right, that's Greg Borja, the president of the Rotary Club of Saipan, and letting us know about this event that's going on this weekend at the third annual Cycling Challenge. Great event. Looking forward to it. All right, let's get back to it. I was in the middle of telling a story. Oh, my God, look at all these comments that came in. All right, well, anyway, get to it. Luis, let's just, excuse me. Jeez, old man sound. Let's hit that elephant in the room. She's like, hey, what did Kathy rough you up a little bit? No, so there's still bad boy here. So I was in bed, not last night, but the night before. And I was just doing like one of those things. And I'm like, oh, it was before I shaved too. So I had like an ingrown hair or something like that. I don't know, but I felt like a bump, like a little pimple-y kind of thing. And I'm like, trying to squeeze it out. Oh, gross, a little too much information. And but it was at night. I wasn't really paying attention. I was going at it pretty good. And next thing you know, I got a little bruising action there too. So that's why they tell you, kids, don't mess around with that stuff. So that's what happened. And we'll see. Hopefully by the end of the week, it'll look a little bit nicer. Yeah, it was easy. Yeah, it was good times. Good times. All right, anyway, let's get to it. Where are we at? All right, hey, Joshua Brazzles was in the house. Good morning to you. Thanks for tuning in. Luta Marianas, a big Steelers fan. Man, that's going to be a good game today. So Steelers-Texans, let's see what happens. I still love this comment, even though I mentioned it, but he's like, yeah, when I talk about the Bills too, early morning trash talk. Metcalf is back. I think he's back for this game, for this matchup. Let's see if I can find out. Is Metcalf back? Oh, hold on. 1 second. Morning. All right. Sorry to take that little bit of a break. Just communicating with one of our guests who's coming in. That's going to be great. Anyhow, let's get back to it. Jump in there. Metcalf, we're going to see if Metcalf is going to be back. Let's see that injury report for the Steelers. Real quick, DK Metcalf status. Let's see where we're at. He returned to work on Monday, and let's see if he'll be back. He's happy. He's not talking about his injury, but he's not talking about his suspension. But he's back. So yeah, he's down. So he'll be able to play for sure. All right. So what else do we got here? Warri Tyspa, good morning to you. Thanks for jumping in. I haven't been over to your place. I got to get over there and get a little bit of a break. Hold on 1 second. Okay. LOL. Can do. All right, so here we go. Let's see. Yeah, all defenses have been playing good, and that's the playoffs. You know, that's why they say defense wins championships, because of all that stuff. Luis is saying, can't wait to hear it, but it was those Spritos. Oh, yeah, that was great. Good morning. Good morning, Jack Buenkas. Good to see you. Thanks for tuning in. Ryan Sousa, all the way from the Philippines watching us. Mabuhay to you, my friend. And Piling Gizemo, watching from Guam, the man, the myth, the legend. He is great. He's ready to go. Yes, in about 5 minutes we'll do this interview. Sounds great. Okay, so going back and forth on a couple of these things. All right, hey, we do have the new flyer, by the way, to say that it is the 3rd annual cycling challenge. So that one's going to be good. Let me save that, because when we post it later, there we go. Bam. All right, so let me tell you a little bit. We gave you guys a heads up that we've got who our guest is going to be, and I'm excited about it for sure. It's Shabani Matani. She is the reporter from the Washington Post who did that big story about the casino here and all of that. We're going to talk to her about a whole bunch of stuff, and so she's just coming off of her vacation, funny enough. 1 second. Let's do this. I'm going to set this up. We'll give you guys a real quick sports update, and then probably by the time we're back, we should be good to go. Just 1 second. Here we go. Are you ready? Yeah, I think you are. Here we go.
Fox Sports Update.
Sky Moore again, little trickery. Back to Juwan Jennings, who's thrown it before. Going deep with McCaffrey. He's got it! Touchdown 49ers. Juwan Jennings, who remember Jennings had a touchdown pass in the Super Bowl 2 years ago, and here in the playoffs he delivers again.
So much deception here, ends up being your passer.
Tom Brady with Kevin Burkhardt on Fox TV. Trickery by the 49ers scored their first of 2 fourth-quarter touchdowns Sunday. Niners beat the defending Super Bowl champion Philadelphia Eagles 23-19 in Philly and moved on to the divisional playoffs next Saturday in Seattle against the division rival Seahawks, who had the NFC's #1 seed on a first-round bye. Bye-bye to the Eagles, 36 yards on offense in the third quarter Sunday. The Niners got 2 fourth-quarter touchdown catches from Christian McCaffrey, the game winner with just under 3 minutes to play.
This is Ainsley Earhart. Thank you for joining me for the 52-episode podcast series, The Life of Jesus.
A listening experience that will provide hope, comfort, and understanding of the greatest story ever told. Listen and follow now at foxnewspodcasts.com or wherever you listen to podcasts.
Johnston in motion, 4th down. Herbert hit to end it.
On NBC last night, the Patriots ended the Chargers season with a 16-3 win at Gillette Stadium. First playoff win for the Pats since Tom Brady quarterbacked the team to a win in Super Bowl 53, nearly 7 years ago. New England's quarterback Drake May in his first playoff game threw for 268 yards and ran for a team-best 66 yards. Connected for a touchdown with former Chargers tight end Hunter Henry with just under 10 minutes left.
You're looking forward to get back here at home, and that's it, playoff football, and that's what we said at the beginning of the season. We'll play home playoff games in the playoffs, and this is what we did, and we're 1-0. We've got to go to the next one.
Drake May will quarterback the Patriots next Sunday at home against the winner of tonight's final wildcard matchup between the Steelers and Texans in Pittsburgh. First game yesterday saw the Bills beat the Jaguars 23-19. Josh Allen threw for 273 yards and a touchdown. Also ran for 2 scores. Buffalo at Denver next Saturday. Another game will have the Rams at Chicago. It's Game On with the Fox Sports app, available wherever you download apps. I'm Jared Max.
Get more on the Fox Sports app and foxsports.com.
If you see something, say something, and stay anonymous. Call Crime Stoppers at 234-7272 or submit a tip online at nmicrimestoppers.com. No names, no caller ID, no recordings, just your info. And if your tip leads to an arrest, you could earn up to $1,000 in cash. Your tips have helped take hundreds of criminals off the streets in the NMI. It works because of you. Crime Stoppers, we want your information, not your name. PHI is your local pharmacy serving customers in Cagman, Garapan, and Dandan since 1996. Shop PHI Pharmacy for all your prescriptions, and we even offer a large line of multivitamin supplements. Our Dandan location is open weekdays from 8 to 6 and 8 to 4 on weekends. Or visit our Garapan and Cagman locations weekdays from 8 to 6 and 8 to 1 on Saturdays. Check us out online at phipharmacy.com or follow us on Facebook. PHI is a locally owned independent community Health Mart pharmacy. Health Mart, taking the time to listen and care.
Waves crash hard, the shore don't break. Roots go deep, no storm can take. This land of ours where hearts ignite. Saipan stands holding tight. Tinian whispers, winds that heal. Roar rises,
All right, welcome back, Marianas. It is, what time is it? It's 8:28 in the morning here on Tuesday, which is just awesome. And boy, do we have a great day lined up for you today. The weather is outstanding here in the Marianas. Can't beat it with a stick. 82 degrees outside, humidity at 82% up there at the Saipan International Airport. And we are looking at isolated showers, partly sunny skies, high near 86 today. Wind out of the east, 17 miles per hour. It's a little gusty with gusts as high as 23 miles per hour. It is wild out there today. So be careful if you are wearing non-secured hair. You want to make sure that you keep that stuff down there so it doesn't get away from you. But today we've got somebody who doesn't have to worry about that because she is not here in the Marianas. I'm not sure exactly where she is in the world right now, but we definitely have her on the phone. She is a reporter from the Washington Post. We were lucky enough to get to meet her when she was here in the CNMI during her brief visit. But now, this morning, we have Shabani Matani on the phone with us. Shabani, good morning.
Hi, good morning. I'm in Singapore, actually.
In Singapore. Oh, man, that's great. I have not yet been to Singapore. I've heard a lot of great stuff. And I don't know. I mean, how is it over there today? You're a bit under the weather. I appreciate you really being on with us. We wanted to do this sooner, but you're on vacation. You were trying to get this stuff. We were really excited when you came out here to do all the story stuff and everything. We're like, how long does it take to put together a story like this? But well, anyway, so here you are, and you're on with us. Thank you so much for being with us. How have you been? It's been a few months.
Good, yeah. I mean, I know it's been a while since I've been out to Saipan. So much of that, like publication timelines and everything has to do with just everything going on in the world. And as I'm sure you well know, there's been a lot going on in the world recently, especially in the United States. So I think, we've had to juggle quite a lot of that. But yeah, I was so thrilled to see, the story out at the end of the year, last year. We as you know, put a lot of work into nailing down all the facts in it, and just making sure that, what we put out was solid and correct with investigative work. You really have to like cross-check and confirm everything you do. So, yeah.
Yeah, it's incredible all the stuff that you have to do to get something like that done because you've been when did you start reporting? Like when did you become a reporter? When did you first get the bug for journalism?
Oh, good question. Wow. I was not prepared for life story questions. So growing up in Singapore, I think I felt like the press was, pretty restricted here in some ways. And, I felt like there was a lot of things going on that, I didn't read out in the media or like wasn't reflected, or my experiences weren't really, reflected in what I was reading. So I think I felt like I had something that I sort of wanted to say, and then, decided that journalism would be a good way, a good way into that. So I basically, from a pretty young age, from sort of like high school, started being involved in like student newspapers at my university and so on. And then I went to journalism school in 2010. And so I've been a journalist now for about 15 years. First with the Wall Street Journal, and then with the Washington Post, which I joined in 2018.
Which is incredible. I mean, just thinking about the international kind of stuff, these big stories that you're out there tackling, like we do a lot of the just your standard nuts and bolts kind of reporting for your day-to-day small town kind of reporting, right? And so when we get to see this kind of stuff, I get to try to put myself in your shoes about like being able to travel to get stories as meaningful for a community and the country, really, like this, and then collaborating with other of your colleagues throughout the world to put a story like this together. How does this, like, how did we even get on your radar for something like this? How does that tasking work, or is this an idea that you had? How trying to get an idea of the whole process?
hmm Well, obviously, if you remember in 2018, Bloomberg Business Week did a really big story on Imperial Pacific and the casino in Saipan, right? So that was obviously out there, and I had read that at the time and thought it was a sort of really wild story. And then it sort of been at the back of my head, right? It was sort of on my radar, but there were other things I was working on. For the past couple of years, one of the things I've really been interested in looking at is Chinese organized crime and the way it's sort of been I don't know, like manifesting in different parts of the world and the region, right? These groups are huge. They're really powerful in Southeast Asia. They're behind these terrible sort of scam factories, right, where they like imprison indentured workers basically and sort of make them scam people online around the world and trick them into giving up their money either through romance schemes or fake investment schemes, stuff like that. So, we'd been looking to see Chinese organized crime and how their activity is basically around the world. And, obviously Imperial Pacific was linked to a man called Chi Xiaobo and his mom. And, Chi Xiaobo has been named as part of an investigation and as part of an ongoing criminal case in China. So I guess through that, I was really interested to understand like where he was now, what he was doing. And, we had tips that he was in Japan. And then from there, my interest in him sort of made me look into the whole casino issue again. And then I realized that the bankruptcy proceedings were underway and that, the assets were about to get sold to this new buyer. And I was really, really interested in understanding like who they were and had already seen some really great local reporting suggesting that there might be links, right, between Imperial Pacific and G and Kaneko, Team King, and Kyosei Bank. And so when I started digging, it was just this whole kind of web, especially with the connections in Japan and the troubles that the company was facing in Japan. And I figured, like, okay, this is a real sort of transnational, situation here, right? With big implications. And I thought, it would be worthwhile digging into it.
Wow, and you certainly did. I got to tell you, it definitely got the attention of everybody here in the Marianas. It was a big conversation, and folks from all around and all kinds of different segments of the community were definitely talking about it. And so now that genie is out of the bottle, and then people are talking about, the question is, where do we go from here? Now, curious about like, what did you learn about the, this whole situation? Like, are there any conclusions that you were able to make? Is there anything that surprised you throughout this whole thing?
Well, yeah, I mean, I think the situation in Japan was pretty surprising, right? I saw, the bid that Team King and Kaneko initially made to the government, right, in the Marianas, and what they tried to use, right, to convince people that like, okay, we are really, we're serious investors, we have capital behind us, we have experience, and we can pull this off, right? We can, everyone I think can acknowledge that that building is an eyesore, that it's been deteriorating, and that the community needs an injection of something right into the tourism market, right? I think it was clear to me, and I think that's the value of spending time on the ground as I did, that people obviously are hopeful for an injection into the economy, right? And that often will come through tourism just because of the way the economy is structured. So I get that, and I see why there was so much hope around the fact that the casino had a new investor and all of that. But when you dig into what's happening in Japan, that was just kind of crazy to me, right? Because this company, Kyosei Bank, has thousands of retail investors. They're old pensioners, most of them, who'd learned about the projects in Japan through like TV ads, and now they're all suing because they're trying to get their money back because they haven't been paid out their dividends for months now. And people inside the company, Kyosei Bank, told us that the company is basically close to collapse, and that it's experiencing a lot of financial difficulties and so on. So then it really, I guess, shed some doubt, right, on the ability of these backers, Kaneko's backers, to pull off something that would need a lot of capital, right, and that casino will need a lot of money and a lot of time to get set back up again.
Well, yeah, and we looked at that story that you end up doing about it, and we found out about stuff. And by the way, some of this stuff, it's like it's hiding in plain sight. Some of it, the names of the people involved, how close everybody is involved in this. But do you think that because I read those same stories, that about that group that came in from Team King, this new Japanese investor, but I was blown away that is just another Chinese guy who's involved with this. I think it was like an intentional misrepresentation, that this was somebody who's just like a Chinese or a Japanese national. Is this something that's happening in other places that you've seen?
This seemed quite unique to me, and you're right, that was a really surprising fact to me, and I think that was an intentional effort to kind of distance himself and distance the new investors from IPI for obvious reasons, right? Because IPI was had caused so many issues, and were investigated by so many different agencies and so on. So, it was really interesting to dig into his history. And, we had a reporter in Hong Kong, go visit him. And the building that he's in and the building that his companies in Hong Kong are in is actually a building with a ton of Chinese state-owned companies. He's also surrounded by people who are, involved in Chinese state-backed and state-linked organizations. So that was definitely sort of an interesting thing to figure out. I mean, it's very hard to speculate exactly what the intentions are, but it's clear that that was a deliberate effort, right, to make themselves seem like Japanese investors. And from our reporting, we also understand that the late governor was a little bit more willing to listen to the pitch from Kaneko, right? Because he thought that he was a Japanese investor. Mm-hmm. So it didn't have that stain of this is Chinese investment, which has obviously been quite controversial or discussed, recently in the Marianas, right?
Yeah. Now, did you actually get to walk through the building, or is that someone else who went through? Did you get to walk through the actual structure and everything?
I did, yes. Both Selwan, who was the photographer who came with us, and myself got to walk through a couple of times, actually.
Yeah, it looks amazing. I love the photos that you guys chose to put in there. And by the way, Ed Probst is one of our friends. We see the photo that you guys did of him. My gosh, if you can make him look that good in those photos, I got to get Salwan to be our photographer, at least for me, so that I can do pretty good. It's a great photo out front. Just a lighter moment there, but it was great. So now to get back to, by the way, I'm scrolling through and showing folks some of the stuff from the website from Washington Post as we're going through. And you mentioned that it was the late governor who was a little bit more open to hearing about this stuff because he heard he was under that impression that it was an actual Japanese company, Japanese investors, and all that other stuff, as opposed to China. But it seemed to me, based on what I was reading from your story, that there's not much difference at all between this Team King and IPI. I mean, it just seems like it's just maybe a little bit of paperwork, a little smoke and mirrors, but it seems like the same people involved.
Well, particularly with the financial transactions, right, and the timing of those transactions. Given the timing of those transactions was so close to when Kaneko was trying to convince the late governor that, Team King was a serious investor and that they should restart the casino project under these new terms, that I understand are currently also just being discussed, within the legislature and so on. But yeah, I mean, I think there was so much there, right, between the common people, between the financial transactions, and then if you think of the fact that Ji Xiaobo is currently in Japan, specifically in Tokyo, then that connection makes even more sense, right? And I think more broadly, you asked about what we're seeing around the world and so on. Because Japan and China have such bad relationship, right, at a political level, and because there's no extradition of Chinese individuals from Japan back to China, we've seen, or law enforcement has seen, quite a lot of Chinese criminals sort of move to Japan and kind of take refuge there. So that it's harder for them to get essentially brought back to China to face whatever they've done.
Yeah, and that's a question I've got about this stuff too, because essentially, we draw like all kinds of lines of connection between the Chinese government and a company like this, and they've also, and we're when we're watching this, we're thinking, well, this is a Chinese government supported operation, but the Chinese government is also after the people who are involved with this. So, I mean, is there a real clear line of connection between the Chinese government and a company like either IPI or Team King from what you figured out?
Yeah, I think that's a really hard and sort of complex question because, obviously China is not a monolith, right? And, like everywhere else, they have corrupt individuals, they have, agencies with conflicting interests, right? And with people who, on one hand, like we've seen this a lot in Southeast Asia. Actually, there was a recent case of this company called Prince Holdings. And that company was a huge company in Cambodia, but was also one of the biggest criminal syndicates in the world. And the US and the UK sanctioned this company late last year, and the US in a district court in New York indicted the head of this company, a guy with the last name Chen. And so when they put out details in this indictment, right, there are all these crazy details on how the China's MSS and MPS, right, the two big security agencies there, there were individuals within those agencies who were working with Chen and sort of tipping him off on potential raids and essentially protecting him. But now he's been extradited to China, brought back there, and the Chinese state media filmed the whole thing with him in a bag over his head and all that stuff. So both things could be true, right? It's a very complex relationship. It ebbs and flows. And, what we've learned, and a lot of people that we spoke to for the story said that, is that, if you have an asset, right, in a place that the Chinese government or intelligence agencies or whatever want information from, they will happily take that information, and that individual can sort of negotiate that position, right, within the state entities, if they have something to offer. But it doesn't mean that they're working at the direction of the state, if that makes sense. So if, for example, the Marianas is considered strategically important to China, if there's stuff that they want to learn about what's going on there, even if they're not directing, an individual to do it, if an individual has connections within, state security and so on, they can leverage their own position and get leniency because they have useful information. So that's how people who, were in government put it to us.
Wow. Well, one of the things that shocked me about this story was that, let me make sure I get in there, Kui Lige married Hao Yuqi.
Yeah.
I had no idea that happened. I know that guy. like we don't hang out, but like I know him, and I didn't know that he got married last year. Not like he'd be saying, "Hey, Brad, guess what? I just got married." He wouldn't be sending me a message anyway. But he seems like a pretty decent guy. Like we've been at we have been at the similar events for like sporting events and stuff like that, and I had no clue in the world that was something that was happening. And then I've heard other conversations from different people that try to explain like why they think that happened, and they say, well, you know, it's for some other kind of reasons with regards to status and residency and stuff like that.
Yeah, unfortunately, I can't speculate on the reasons behind the marriage either. I'm sure the people you're speaking to will probably give you a little bit more insight there. But yeah, we did find the marriage set, and so yeah, that it's in, you know, it's registered and everything. It's official.
It's official.
And we do know that you know, Madame Choi would be wanted in China, right, as part of the same case. I mean, her sister's currently in jail, and her son's on the run. So,
wow, and kind of living here in kind of like a it's a secret or not a secret that she's here. The place that they've got is rumored to where she's staying. There's like no windows or anything like that, in kind of a secured compound off of Middle Road, and it's just. Surprising, you know, that is the situation here. And again, I was not sure that she was here. I definitely didn't know about the marriage. I wasn't invited, so I don't feel hurt by that at all. But the idea that is what's going on here, and that they're able to continue to kind of, I don't know, it's like a shadow operation of what's happening. In fact, you know, the fact that nothing's happened since they did that transfer, and it's essentially just kind of offloaded like all those millions of dollars of debt through the transfer from IPI to Team King, and nothing's happened in all the time since then, is just like, I don't know that we're out of any cloud from this whole situation. Like, I don't know that there's any chance for like development for this stuff now.
Right, and I think that's sort of part of the point, right? I mean, there were so many people who were owed so much, right, from IPI. There was such high expectations. Mm-hmm. There was so much hope, right, that this would bring, you know, tourism and money to a community that really needs it. And I think, you know, the fact that, you know, the bankruptcy sort of went the way, you know, it did, right? In the end, the payout to those individuals was spent, and, you know, to the government itself was a mere fraction of what was owed, right? And you know, even if this starts up again, as you say, it's really unclear what the benefit could potentially be, right, for the people of the Marianas. And I think that is the question that sort of was at the back of my head like the whole time, right? Again, just walking around the tourism district and walking around Garapan, it's clear that something is needed, but it's unclear if a casino, or, you know, specifically the IPI casino, will sort of be it.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. You know, the concept of the casino, it doesn't seem to be, some people are just against the concept of having a casino, period, right? Whether they've got moral reasons or they just don't like it, period. But this part that kind of stunk about this situation was how it got here in the first place. And that story never really kind of went away, and it seemed to be like a cloud that continued to linger over the situation for the entirety of its operation. I could tell you that it was kind of a fun place when it was open. It was weird that you would have a place that was unfinished and still welcoming people to come in. Like it just seemed like that was like probably by design, they were hoping to make more money to finish the place. But the idea that you could just invite people in and have full-on business, even though there's an active construction site all around you of like a 14, 15-story building where anything could happen, anything could fall out of the sky. And that was happening. So I don't know. We had some crazy times with that building, and it's been closed for years. If only you could have been here to experience one of the meetings from the Commonwealth Casino Commission, to see for yourself while it was happening what kind of a circus. Or maybe circus is a word for a little more fun. But more like a farcical ceremony. It was like 5 guys in a room with a legal counsel having a meeting that was hardly noticed. They would in an office that they weren't able to pay for and collect on to pay for those offices, to pay for their salaries. And it got so pointless to the point where the Attorney General's office stopped sending their legal counsel over because they didn't have anything worth discussing that would require legal oversight. So it was kind of ridiculous. So anyway, was there any real takeaways from coming here and doing this story? Is there like a lasting thought that you have about the whole situation here?
Well, I think the thing that was really interesting to me is how sort of transnational and big this whole operation is, targeting a place that's obviously quite small, and where everyone sort of knows everyone, and where there's sort of links between families and where things are quite small and tight, right? And I think the how do I put it? There's like such a big gulf between that, right? Here you have a very tight-knit, small community, very, very proud of its status, history, heritage, its relationship with the United States, and all of that. And the forces, though, behind this casino, to me, seemed, by contrast, so big, so global, and so I guess sophisticated, right? It took so much time to try to uncover the layers and layers and layers of sort of corporate, smoke and mirrors, right? To just put it bluntly, behind some of these companies that were all just controlled by the same people. And I guess that was my lasting impression, right? It felt to me like something really big was going on, and has been since the casino started up, in a place that was quite small and perhaps a little bit unprepared to kind of deal with the sort of big criminal enterprise,
Oh, I do, and it's amazing to see how big it was, and that they came in. And the amount of influence that they peddled on our community, it was overwhelming, whether it was the people who received direct payments through some of the land deals that you mentioned, or the people who received stuff from those people who received those land deals, and people who were in different positions of authority here. And every time there was a delay, every time IPI sought to have some kind of a change made, it was like a rubber stamp that went through our legislature and up to the governor, and it was done. Hey, we need more time. Hey, can we have less rooms? Hey, can we spend less? Hey, can we have, instead of a brand new facility, can we just use the facility you have up north? Ended up chasing out a Japanese company that had been here for 40 years up north, and with a deal that eventually didn't go through with Marianas Resort. And it was one of these things, this company kind of went through, got everything they want, and then everything seemed to be fine until they stopped paying for everything. And then their influence that they had still kept things going here, because they were still able to keep their license and keep their operation, or keep their company, even though their company had shuttered its facility, stopped operating. And completely stopped trading on the Hong Kong exchange, right?
Yep.
So
Yep.
This company was so big, it was bigger than what our local government could handle, it seemed like. And I know some people would probably take some offense to that, but I think that it seems like pretty clear. We still have this gigantic monument to poor oversight. I don't know what I would attribute it to corruption.
Yeah.
You know,
and you know that's not, you know, it's not just the Marianas that would have been sort of unprepared for the scale and the size of this. I mean, think about what's happening in Japan. Japan is a really, really big country, and somehow, you know, this company, a company linked to Kaneko, Kyosei Bank, has still, you know, managed to defraud thousands of investors, right? And who are suing, and who haven't been paid their dividends back. You know, organized crime, we see the way they operate all over the world, right? Whether it's the United States, whether it's the United Kingdom, whether it's here in Singapore, whether it's, you know, Cambodia, you know, the case I mentioned with Prince Holdings before. You know, a bunch of people were hiding their assets in Singapore, which obviously is a country that has super strict regulations, and, you know, a lot of oversight, right, over financial flows and banking and all of that. You know, and still they managed to do it. So I don't think it's meant to sort of be, you know, offensive, right, to the government or to the people or to the place. It's just that, you know, these syndicates operate just on a very high level, right, because they incentivized to make money off these schemes, right? And I think what's really, really interesting is that you see more and more cooperation now between, you know, for example, Japanese individuals and Chinese individuals, you know, potentially Russians and North Koreans. I mean, not in this case, but just globally, right? That's the way organized crime is evolving, and they're becoming much more sophisticated and much more, you know, transnational. And that's, you know, come up in a bunch of other stories that I've looked at, you know, since being in Saipan. And I think, you know, the Pacific has really been a new sort of turf or a new base for their operations, right? And the UN, you know, other law enforcement has sort of been looking for the past few years into the growth of organized crime in the Pacific, because I think these groups think no one is looking, you know, these places are isolated and they can get away with what they want. I think what makes the Marianas so different, though, is that it's U.S. territory, right? And I think that makes the stakes so much higher for Washington, and you know, just for the U.S. in general.
You know, you're right, and that's the crazy part about this for me. I mean, we're not reading about this somewhere else. We're not reading about this happening in Palau or the Marshalls or FSM. Like this story in particular, that it's here in the CNMI and it is U.S. territory. You know, I don't know. You're so busy. You're going to all these different places, covering different stories and all this stuff. I don't know if you indulge in looking at the local media and seeing what people's responses are to your story. But there's some communication coming from the former executive director from the Commonwealth Casino Commission. He's disputing like some of these things, saying like, hey, there's no way that any kind of misdealings happened here because we're the most scrutinized. You know, we have a anti-money laundering safeguards at IPI, so we're good to go. Have you seen any of that?
I have, yeah. I've been sent the reporting around it, yes. But I think the dispute was more about the IPI, you know, the past allegations made against IPI, which, by the way, have been made way before my story. They've been made consistently over the past few years by various media organizations, right? Obviously, Bloomberg being the most significant one, but there was, you know, a federal investigation into the whole thing, right? People involved in that investigation explained to me that it's extremely hard to get a case going on money laundering if the company has shut, basically, because money laundering needs to be tied to another criminal activity, right? So, for example, that needs to be corruption and then money laundered to feed the corruption, right? There needs to be drug trafficking and then money laundered, in connection with the drugs being trafficked and so on. Obviously, when IPI shut, it made it much harder to, pursue and successfully get an indictment on that. And yeah, I mean, there were people involved in the investigation who told me they were very, very frustrated not to see indictments and what they believed was a solid case with a ton of evidence. So.
Well, yeah, and that was,
or whatever that's worth.
Yeah, and that is something that's echoed by a lot of people in the community here. We know these same folks. We live in the community with them. Like you said, everybody knows everybody. And I can tell you that, like 4 years ago, almost 5 years ago, having a conversation on the deck by a pool, having a conversation with somebody in law enforcement who said, hey, something's coming within the next 2 months. And that 2 months has turned out to be 5 years, and nothing had since come from it. And so it leaves people to wonder, what really should they believe? What really should they think about and all this? Because, we got a big election coming up, and some of the people who are involved in bringing that company here and dealing with that company, they are going to be running for office and all that other stuff. And if I were them, I would say, hey, we never got any charges, or, nothing happened of that. And so, so deal with that as you may. It might have been a very exciting story, but like nothing happened. So what do you want to do?
Absolutely. And I think that was the challenge for us too in writing this. I mean, there were no charges, right? So, we had to make that clear, right? When we wrote the story. I mean, there's a lot of allegations. There are a lot of people we spoke to who said a lot of things, but ultimately there were no charges. So one of my goals, I guess, was to try as hard as I could to get people who were involved with the investigation to speak on the record. That was obviously extremely difficult because all sorts of legal reasons, and if they're still within the FBI and stuff, also the administration has changed. It's difficult, right? It's obviously very difficult to get those people on the record. But, we did have people speak to us on background, off the record. And yeah, like I said, they described a lot of frustration because obviously they'd worked on this for many months very thoroughly. And, really felt like there was enough to bring indictments and to bring charges. And when you talk about something being much bigger, right, much with a lot more behind it, and this obviously was reported by Bloomberg at the start of the whole thing. Imperial Pacific had some very, very powerful people on its board, right? Imperial Pacific had former judges and a former director of the FBI sitting on its board. So a lot could happen because of people in different positions. So yeah.
All right. Well, all that stuff. Is there a continuing story for you on this one, or are you on to the next already?
I'm still looking at targets across the Pacific. I'm really interested in the region. I spend a lot of my time in Southeast Asia, and a lot of the dynamics that I've seen and written about here, particularly when it comes to Chinese influence, Chinese organized crime, is now sort of spreading out into the Pacific, which I find really, really fascinating. But what I think is an ongoing story here for sure is what's actually going to happen with the casino, right?
Yeah.
Because obviously the assets changed hands. Team King has promised to restart it. It's just, I really want to know if that's going to happen, or whether it can happen, or under what terms that would happen. So I'm obviously continuing to watch that. And I'm also really, really interested in what's happening in Japan, right? Because, if there is some kind of criminal investigation into the company, Kyosei Bank, it would obviously involve Kaneko as well, because he led Kyosei Bank until very, very recently. And, our reporting showed that he only left Kyosei Bank to focus on the casino in Saipan, but is obviously still working very closely with Kyosei Bank. So all of these things are linked, right? And yeah, we're still obviously watching closely, and if there are developments in future, I'm sure we will be writing about them too.
Well, I can tell you that while we were watching all this stuff unfold in real time as it was happening, the conversations were that they were going to go down for sure. Something bad's going to happen to them, all this other stuff. But then the side conversation was, but I hope they finish the building first. I hope that at least that happens. And then people were talking about the structural integrity of the building. Was it part of that tofu construction that they talk about from Chinese construction companies? Talked about the folks who were injured or even died on that construction site.
Yeah.
And the people who were working on there without even being legal laborers here. I mean, at least the joke was at that time was that, it is so great to work in the CNMI. This is where people want to come for their vacation. They'll come here with the tourist visa just so they can actually live and work in the Marianas while they're on their break before they go back to their regular job. But they went around. It seemed like they kind of completely disregarded whatever our rules are here, and they thought they could operate by Chinese standards here in a U.S. territory, and I think they found out that maybe it wouldn't work. Well, it worked for a while, and they definitely made some money. You already talked about how much money they kind of went through our place and everything too, which is Absolutely. Just unreal. All right. Well, hey, before we kind of wrap up a little bit, any lasting impressions of just the Marianas? Working with, you got to meet a lot of people here. You got to experience what it is. Any
I
thoughts?
loved it. I really as I think. Well, I think I spoke to you about this. It was my first trip back at work after parental leave. So obviously I had a lot of nervousness linked to that, right? Leaving my baby at home and all of that. And it couldn't have been a better trip. People were so warm and just kind and wonderful, and so beautiful. I think it's highly underrated as a tourist destination, and it really should get more tourists. I would love to come back with my family. So I loved it and had a great time. So.
Well, that's great, and and you got to meet a whole bunch of people too. I mean, did you get to try a bunch of? I know work was your thing, and probably convenience is part of that. Did you get to try any local food or any local chow or anything?
Man, I had such good food, and I was so pleasantly surprised that the food was so good. What's that little Italian restaurant set up by the two young kids?
Angry Penne.
Yeah, that place was so good.
Yes, there's a shout out for Angry Penne. Those guys are great. They
it was so good.
All right. Well, anything else? Anything that you'd want to acknowledge, or any last points for you?
No, just that we're hopefully going to keep on it because I think the story, as you know, is not yet done. So, yeah. I think we hope to, just keep on it as things unfold through this year.
All right. Well, thanks so much for coming out. It was really so great to meet you when you came out, and to just see someone who gets to tackle these kind of international stories and did that real in-depth reporting. And I didn't get to see how you do everything, but just to experience a little bit about that, as opposed to just our regular, we are your meat and potatoes kind of place where we're just are your staple every day, but you get to do these real in-depth things and going from place to place and tackling them. So it was great to see the finished product and to see what you've done, to have met with you, and to meet Sal as well. He was just great. And one last thing about Sal, by the way. I thought that he would be more just like of a photographer, videographer, but no, he is a real journalist as well. And
Absolutely.
His canvas just happens to also include the visual component too. And just both of you, incredibly professional, but just genuinely nice people. I feel that I got a little more enriched getting to know both of you. And thank you for taking the time to do this interview and giving us a little bit of your personal time to do this. So thank you.
Thank you. I really appreciate it. And hope we can come hang out in Saipan again soon. That would be amazing.
Yeah, and if we make it out to Singapore, we'll send you a message.
Please do.
All right.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, too. That's Shabani Matani from the Washington Post giving us a call this morning. Thank you so much, and we'll talk to you soon.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. All right. That was great. So wonderful to have her on and hear a little bit about that process and hear her lasting impressions from the Marianas during her time while she was here and what's coming up next. And, getting the perspective of somebody who's not from here, but who really went pretty deep with regards to, Jesus, just blow you away with that pleasant music, who went pretty deep with learning about where things got their roots here, how they kind of proliferated throughout the community. And, wow, it's pretty neat. All right, we're going to take a real quick break. We'll be back. It's 9:13 in the morning. It's Taco Tuesday here in the Marianas. It's probably one of the most delicious days that we've got on the calendar. All right, but we'll come back with more news, sports, and weather for you right after this.
Hey, bro, can I grab your bush?
Yeah, man, go for it.
Right on. Thanks, bro. Hey, bro, can I grab your bush too?
Sure, bro. Go ahead.
Thanks.
Now I can grab my own bush. Saipan, it's time to grab your bush. Pick up a 12-pack of ice-cold Bush, and you're in for more than just a refreshing beer. Every 12-pack gives you a chance to win exclusive Bush gear and more. So don't wait. Swing by your favorite store, grab your Bush, and join the fun. Because here in Saipan, the best moments are even better with Bush. Grab your Bush today.
Shiny smiles all around where happiness is found. It's the little things that make it true. Shiny smiles start with
AP News, I'm Mike Hempen. The state of Minnesota and the Twin Cities of Minneapolis and St. Paul are suing the federal government to stop an enforcement surge by Immigration and Customs Enforcement. This follows the fatal shooting of a Minneapolis woman by an ICE officer. The state and cities also are requesting a temporary restraining order to halt the enforcement action or limit the operation. The Department of Homeland Security says it's surging more than 2,000 immigration officers into Minnesota. DHS says it has made more than 2,000 arrests in the city since the push began last month. Plaintiffs' attorneys are asking a federal judge to intervene after 3 Democratic members of Congress were blocked from visiting an Immigration and Customs Enforcement facility in Minnesota over the weekend. The lawyers are asking the judge for an emergency hearing. Democratic Senator Mark Kelly is fighting a legal battle against attempts to punish him for his warnings about illegal orders.
Arizona Senator and former NASA astronaut Mark Kelly is suing the Pentagon, saying that Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth is trampling his freedom of speech by opening up an investigation and coming after his military pension. On January 5th, Hegseth says he censured Kelly over his participation in a video with 5 other Democratic lawmakers.
You can refuse illegal orders.
The video was released as the Pentagon began bombing suspected drug smuggling boats in the waters near Venezuela. President Trump described the video message as sedition punishable by death. Hegseth says the censure is a necessary step in a process that could see Kelly demoted. In a statement, Kelly says the proceedings are unconstitutional and accused Hegseth of trying to suppress dissent by threatening military veterans with the deprivation of their rank and pay. Jennifer King, Washington.
This is AP News. AP correspondent Julie Walker reports on a nurses' strike at several major New York City hospitals.
Thousands of nurses across 3 hospital systems in New York City went on strike Monday after contract negotiations broke down. Mayor Mamdani was at their picket line at New York Presbyterian.
These nurses are here for New Yorkers. They show up, and all they are asking for in return is dignity, respect, and the fair pay and treatment that they deserve.
The strike involves about 15,000 nurses, including Tristan Castillo, who works at Mount Sinai.
The strike is about getting a fair contract for safer staffing and also sticking to our health insurance, which is what Mount Sinai is trying to pull from us.
Montefiore is the 3rd hospital where nurses are striking. They say the major issues include staffing levels, workplace safety, and health care. Julie Walker, New York.
I'm Mike Hempen, AP News.
If you see something, say something. And stay anonymous. Call Crime Stoppers at 234-7272 or submit a tip online at NMICrimestoppers.com. No names, no caller ID, no recordings, just your info. And if your tip leads to an arrest, you could earn up to $1,000 in cash. Your tips have helped take hundreds of criminals off the streets in the NMI. It works because of you. Crime Stoppers, we want your information, not your name. PHI is your local pharmacy serving customers in Cagman, Garapan, and Dandan since 1996. Shop PHI Pharmacy for all your prescriptions, and we even offer a large line of multivitamin supplements. Our Dandan location is open weekdays from 8 to 6 and 8 to 4 on weekends. Or visit our Garapan and Cagman locations weekdays from 8 to 6 and 8 to 1 on Saturdays. Check us out online at phipharmacy.com or follow us on Facebook. PHI is a locally owned independent community Health Mart pharmacy. Health Mart, taking the time to listen and care.
Sun jumps up over San Jose, boots lined up the Fiesta way. Kids got tickets clutched in their hands. Sorry's kicking up the sand. Swell
Marianas. It is 9:23 here on Tuesday morning. Pika Fest is on the way. That is going to be next month, February 13th and 14th. You don't want to miss it over there just across the channel in Tinian. MVA, the mayor's office. It's going to be an amazing event again this year. They're going to have live music. There's going to be great dancing. Don't get me started on the food. In fact, they come up with all kinds of fancy stuff just for this. The local folks produce some amazing miso and denazzi and done sali. It is just great. Done pica. They've got cotton pica. You get to bring back all this stuff back to Saipan if you're just coming from here. You don't want to miss it. They've got a bunch of hotel rooms available. They've got free camping available if you make your way over there. And that camping is not roughing it too much because there's full-on restrooms there and showers as well. So you get to enjoy the full experience of going to Tinian, enjoying the people, the culture, the beauty of it too. Oh my God, Tinian is beautiful. Their beaches are amazing. The people are great. And you probably already know about that. But it's one thing to remember how nice it was, but you need that regular reminder of how delicious it is over in Tinian. And everybody breaks out their specialties. The folks, especially over at JC Cafe, they always got great stuff too. But the individual family booths are my favorites. And again, it's good. Like I doing Jello shots with random people or reconnecting with friends over there. It is a wonderful time. So you want to get out there. You got time. You got a month to plan. It is a month from today. Exactly. 22nd Tinian Hot Pepper Festival. It's going to be over there at the Fiesta Grounds in San Jose. Do not miss out. It will be a blast. They're going to have fun. The contest, the Umang race. And they've even got that 5K run. I think this is the third year that's going to happen. So you punish yourself with the hot peppers on Friday. You give yourself a little bit of a reprieve with that run in the morning on Saturday. And then you hit it again in the afternoon. Enjoy the beach, enjoy the food, enjoy the beverages, and all the people over there in Tinian. It's great. Don't miss out. Coming next month. You want more information, you can get over to the MVA's social media stuff. You can reach out to the mayor's office in Tinian or the MVA office. Reach out to the Tinian Field Operations Supervisor, Vita Borja. She's been there at least since I've been in Saipan. I remember seeing her name for everything with MVA in Tinian for like at least 20 years, I feel like now. 433-9365. That's how you get a hold of the Tinian Field Operations Supervisor, Vita Borja. You can also send her an email at vborja@mymarianas.com. You can also reach out to Sherman Santos with MVA over there, santos@mymarianas.com, or you can call the Tinian Mayor's office at 433-1802 to find out how you can get all the details about what's going on for Tinian Hot Pepper Festival, Pika Fest over there in Tinian. You know it's going to be great. If you haven't done it yet, what are you waiting for? It is the experience that you need in your life right now. While all the world is a little bit crazy over there, it's just fun. It's just a party. It's just great. People in Tinian definitely know how to do it. Hey, great to see you, Tobot Castro. I know, man. I saw you over there on the YouTube side for a bit, but I couldn't get to you while we had the interview. Also, Agriganja, great to see you too. Thanks for tuning in this morning. Well, that's just about going to do it for us today. We've got all kinds of stuff to get to. We got a lot of stories to get out there for you today as well on the website, nminewsservice.com, where you can get caught up on everything that's happening in the Marianas. And, it's fun for us. In fact, there's the story right now at the website, nminewsservice.com. That's just one of the many stories happening in our local world today, where you can actually watch our show, see what's happening here, and find out what's going on. Folks in Azlito, by the way, coming up in a couple of days here on Thursday, you're going to be losing water service from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. That's what's happening with the CUC. They're looking for leaks as they're taking care of business. And you can see on there, it's going to be along Chalon Monsignor Martinez from the Shell Dandan intersection all the way down to Tunawakeen Doi. Folks in that area are going to be without water on Thursday. So you can prepare for it now from 9 a.m. all the way until 3 p.m. And usually when this stuff happens, CUC does a great job of trying to get it done sooner for you, so it's not as difficult for you to go on living your lives over there. They do a real good job. They just want to manage your expectations as well. All right, guys. Well, that's about it. That's what we've got for you for today. I want to say thanks to Greg Borja, the president for Saipan Rotary Club, for getting in with us today and telling us about everything that's going on with them and that big bike race that's happening this weekend. That's going to be a lot of fun. Let me turn that down. Also want to say thanks. I missed some of you guys, by the way, in the comments. Because I don't know why it didn't refresh. So Dispensa, I don't know why I can't see it, but I just literally popped on the mobile just to see some of the things that you guys have on there. So I'll reach out to some of your comments. Everything after Pilling's comment about an hour ago, I missed. So let me see. Let me see if I can just pull that up for you. I also want to say thanks to Shabani Matani for taking the time to make that phone call. I know she's a little bit under the weather also, but she was able to make the call today. We were going to try to do it yesterday. She had all kinds of travel delays and all that stuff, but she still found a way to get it done for this morning. Even under the weather, not feeling all that great, still got out there. Richard Lazama, thanks for joining us today. Great to see you. Richard Junio, great to see you as well. Thanks for getting in here, Richie. Also, Fabian Indelicio, the man, the myth, the legend, the guy with the absolute best laugh in the CNMI. It's infectious. It'll get you. Great to see you. Thanks for joining us today. I'm just going to pop in real quick and see if I can see a couple other comments that I may have missed from you guys. Again, apologies for that. It's just sometimes when we're watching this stuff, we're not able to catch all of it on the software that we've got here on the Facebook dashboard. It quit updating about an hour ago while we were doing that interview. And I'm just pulling up the other comments here in just a little bit, or from as I'm waiting for them to refresh, I'm looking at the screen. Anyway, I guess we'll just leave it at that. Thank you guys for your comments. Thank you for your calls. Thanks for helping to get the information out. Remember, if you've got an event, if you've got something coming up, if you've got something on your mind that you want to talk about, send it to us so we can get it out there. We could talk about it in the community. We could talk about it with you, which is the most exciting part, and have you in studio talk about the stuff that's going on. All right. Well, thanks for joining us. We're going to call it a day, and I hope today is your best day so far. We have so many things happening out here in the Marianas, and we hope that you're able to get through any of those tough spots. Just had a conversation with a nice friend of ours, and who's going through a tough time. Said, hey, look, when you're going through the toughest of times, those times that you feel like you're at your lowest, the thing that works the best, at least for me, is that knowing that one day you're going to be able to look back on it and say that, yeah, I got through that. You might not be able to see your way through that path to get through it right now, but you will get through it. And you're going to be able to look back on it, and then you're going to be able to tell somebody else how they can help get themselves through that same kind of situation. All right, Marianas, that's what we got for you today. It's great to have you, and we'll see you again tomorrow. Have a great one. We'll see you again tomorrow. Thanks for being with us. And, you're the best. Take care.
As the day unfolds with laughter and cheer, Brad's got the magic that brings us all near.